Okay. Hmm. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to have to um, come out and say any of this, but I think it needs to happen. It needs to happen. I'm gonna. There we go. Um, I can understand why a few of you may be upset, to say the least. Um, I owe each and every single one of you watching this, even if it's just as a regular video or even through the stream, an apology. I kept saying to a few of you, there's a lot going on, and I wouldn't give much context and much background. I really did not want to have to do this, but I'm going to. It needs to happen. I fell off track. I'm not going to lie to you. I did genuinely try to go to college full sail and whatnot. That didn't exactly go through as well. I lie now. The funds for that were just too low. I counted on my family for something that I knew deep down we could not get to. I've had to take a step back after that video and really rethink everything I was doing. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there's been a lot of personal issues in my life. A lot of personal issues, many of which I cannot discuss. It has led me to a point to where I got almost distracted. I lost my drive. I lost my motivation. I don't want to come out and say this like this, but I lost me. And I'm not saying this because I want a pity party about this, or I expect you guys to come out and excuse any of this and say, oh, it's okay, I understand. No, no. I'm letting you know. I'm being honest. Hi, Helpy. Been a while. Financially, there has been a multitude and I guess chaotic sense of problems that my family and I have had to deal with. And the older I've gotten, I started this channel when I was 11, 12, and I'm 20. That's what's kind of baffled me the whole time I've been gone. And there would be conversations about this with my family and I, my mom and little brother specifically. Yes, it's lifted. You're exactly who I wanted to see on here. Subpar. The last I heard about you is you were very angry. And I fully understand. I completely understand. I've made empty promises. I have said and I guess backtracked many things and contradicted many things that I was saying that I was going to do. I couldn't have a focus point on what it was that I was supposed to be doing. I would make these projects, and then I get sidetracked, and I would not return to them. And the truth is, honest to God, I lose motivation. I lost motivation to do those because I would get disorganized and yes. But I'm telling not only you, and we are, if you're okay with it, we can call after this. I'm telling you and every single person that is watching my channel that I guess that chooses to watch this video so that way they can get a clearer picture as to what's going on. Still, either way, I would lose the motivation to make the videos that I would have on hand. In fact, I'll never forget there was a couple that you and I were supposed to make, and I would excuse and claim, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I wouldn't. I would make these big promises, and truthfully, I would hope that they would go through. But I didn't backtrack. I didn't have enough evidence to prove that that was actually going to happen. I would just say, oh, these people are going to help me do this, and they're going to get me on board with this. That way I can help you guys out and whatever else. The biggest deal breaker is financially on my end. I could not afford anything to get to where I wanted to be, and as much as I wanted to go through with a lot of these projects, I couldn't. Not only because of motivational reasons, but personal reasons that would distract me from what I needed to be doing. I've had to do a lot of mental, reorganizing, a lot of rethinking on many things, and I've had to. Many things changed. The finances were not covered like I thought they were. I put it into a trust fund with somebody, and that person took those funds, and now I have access to nothing. It's all gone. He had backstabbed me, so now I don't have access to any of it. And I didn't want to bring that kind of news to you because I wasn't man enough to come to you and say it and have the balls to tell you what was really going on. So I figured you need to know now. And this is exactly why I am doing what I'm doing as of right now. Because you're not the only one that needs to hear this. Call this a mental breakdown on a stream? I think it's time everybody truly figures out what's been going on with me and why there's been a sudden disappearance, and it's all because of planning. Planning was a huge issue on my end. I would have these plans. I would have everything worked out perfectly. I'd have literally a schedule for what I wanted to do, especially with Full Sail and whatnot, and it would crumble just like that because of not only financial reasons, but personal reasons, distractions. People were a major key factor and player into a lot of these things, and not only that, I still do, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a hard time, mix matching between personal life, professional life, and this. And I decided to take a step back from this because I knew I couldn't do it. And then, of course, I heard you were angry. A couple of others were as well. And it's understandable. It's warranted. So, there was a point where I gave up. Not gonna lie. I did. I gave up and I didn't know what was next. And I mean in all areas, this, financial, personal. And this was, believe it or not, literally a week and a half after I made that video about going to Full Sail. I'm not gonna lie to you, this was a week and a half after I made that video about going to Full Sail. I had nothing. So I knew I was not only letting many other people down, but I knew I was letting you and Crown down as well. And it sucked, and I didn't have the balls to tell you that. There was more to what ended up happening after the fact, and I figured I'd let you be because I didn't know what you were doing either, so I didn't want to, I guess, bug you. Either way, things have been just, as of now, it's quieted down a ton. Things are smooth, quiet. I'm kind of at ground zero right now, trying to go back up. But I knew I couldn't do that while making videos. And some of the distractions that I had going on in my life. So I had to kind of rethink how I'm supposed to do anything. And again, this is not just for you guys, this is for every single person that's choosing to watch this video, because I think I need to go back like in time a little bit before any of this. I never really had a consistent upload schedule. I made YouTube almost feel like a job rather than a hobby. Made animation feel like a job rather than a hobby. Knowing damn well I wasn't getting paid for it. And I think because of that, it kind of drew me to a point where I didn't know what I was doing. And with that mentality that I had, I started looking at it like, oh, I've just got to keep doing this. I've got to keep doing this and hoping I can start getting some monetization. And I didn't realize I was driving myself further away from what I like doing. I started thinking, oh, this needs to be. I've got to start doing this, especially after the Beast Wars trilogy video blew up. I felt like okay. Oh. Right. I will. Either way, I won't. There was more than a lot of benefactors at play with what was going on behind the scenes. And still, I tried as much as I could, and I got motivated. I got a drive after that Beast Wars trilogy video blew up. You know, no thanks to Subpar helping me out and voicing and even coming up with a lot of these beautifully written ideas, and a couple of other things which I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to go through with it, but I couldn't. I knew deep down that I couldn't do it. There's other factors in my personal life that's made everything even more of a challenge, and I kind of had to, I don't know, I've had to figure out quite a bit on what I'm doing, what I am doing, not as far as here, just in general. What am I doing? So I've kind of had to reroute the way, I guess, I do things, the way I say things, the way I go through with things. So there's not really much else I can say now. I know this sounds very vague and very wishy-washy. I wish I could tell all of you the details of this. There's a few of you I can say the details for. It's a pretty sorry excuse, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I know. But I didn't exactly know where I was going then. I think a lot of confidence issues were at play with this. Distractions were a major thing. won't lie to you. So, I had to disappear from this to figure out what the hell I'm doing. What I am doing. And I've come back with a fresh slate, and I would love more than anything to go over a couple of things with a few of you, and see where we can go from there. I know there's one thing that I know is practically shelved, maybe a little more than shelved, based off the last I heard about it, and it's completely understandable, because there has been no general direction on which way that's been going. I haven't made the effort to put more into that, and my problem was is I'm mainly leaning on you guys to do every bit of that. So, but either way, for you guys watching, regular viewers, I want you to know that as far as this is going right now, I'm sort of back. I'm just thinking the general direction here. And I owe you a big apology. Either way, I owe you a huge apology. I feel like I've let you guys down. I have let many down. And I need to rethink on how I'm going to fix that. And that's what I'm going to do. So, hopefully you guys have the patience. If not, I understand, but we'll see how things go from there. So, hope you guys are doing pretty good.